More practical tips. More up-to-date info. More certified resource persons. More timely themes. And more fun. This is Dynamic Living 2013.
It is said that the most beautiful and the best things in life may not even be seen, heard, or even felt. But according to Helen Keller, the best things in life should be felt with the heart. And we know also for a fact that there are a lot of people who are in prominence who have disabilities, and they rose above their disabilities. Dynamic Living, the Total You, invites you, dear viewers, in the next 60 minutes as we try to discuss our episode on Rising Above Disabilities, Empowering PWD's Rights. I am very much honored here in the studio with me, two young, able-bodied, I would say. Kasi sinabi natin able-bodied, kaya-kaya pang gumawa ng kahit ano, di ba? It's all in the mind, they say. Hindi lang naman physical dapat ang disability. And I'd like to welcome to the show the first guest here on my right. I have here Engineer Loloy Bernardo Mendoza. Mercado. I'm very sure that everybody who's watching you now on the show, Engineer, would be inspired by your life story as you share that with us tonight. Maayong gabi din sa imo, Engineer.
Maayong gabi, Doc.
And another person I am very much proud and honored to have encountered and talked to the past few minutes. And I think he will also serve as an inspiration to us. I have here Dr. Ike Ampong. Maayong gabi, Dr. Ampo. I got all your names wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. Good evening din ha, Dr. Ike.
Maayong gabi, Doc. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
In your
Abi mang good ninyo. We know nga every year, ingon nila, there is a dedicated date or month of the year nga dedicated only for PWDs, di ba? And wala na namo nasapnan because we were into other episodes na we decided 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, now we have to feature you. Okay? Nga naman, you are our partners and we want your lives to serve as an inspiration to the viewers. Kay dili baya lalim nga maingon ni Anita, no? And let me start off by asking you, like ikaw engineer, you grew up nga dili gyud kalakaw?
Vehicular accident.
How young were you when it happened?
I was 33.
So dili naka na sa imong middle age nga
Yes.
kuan ka na, you were already working at the time.
I was working with the
Finished with
government.
college, you were already an
Yes.
engineer, you had a family already.
Yeah, I had a family and with 2 kids during that time.
Okay. And so 33, at the time when it happened, before that happened, you were very active.
Yes. Physically, sports, and anything.
So when you met the accident, making you disabled in one way or another, how did you feel about it? In other words, namang guduban nga tao nga moingon dahil pagsulti nga lipay lang ko, okay ra kay ko sa tanan. But I know that human nature dictates nga dili biya sa dinana kalalim nga there's a sudden shift on what you can do, what you cannot do.
It's okay. Doc. The first question I was asking is, why me, God? Mao jud na ko. Wad ko magdahom nga di ko kalakaw. I never thought of it. So that.
Did it affect your work?
I think it affected me almost 6 months. But I have to, again, to go to the Lord and say, Ginoo, na ako'y duha ka babang akong buhayon, patrabaho apa ko. That's it. So that, really, the family, my 2 kids really inspired me to go like, in fact, I never have a thought, even a single thought nga ako mag-suicide. Wala dyan because of my family.
Ang imuhang pagka-accident nimo kay vehicular accident, ang nahilabtan sa imuha is only your ability to move around using your both legs and feet?
Yes, spinal cord.
Spinal cord ang imuha.
Pag- Spinal cord injuries.
Okay.
That was I will never forget it, August 1, 1986, during that day.
Sabi ni Dr. Ike before the start of the show na with your spinal cord compression injuries, nagka-stroke pag yun daw ka. Did it happen simultaneously or ni sapaw lang siya?
Isa pa lang, I was with Ike now, with the group sa Hasi de Oro. We are very active. Then, last 2010, November 2010, I had that stroke.
So it further limited your mobility.
Yes.
And how did you feel, going through all of this?
I just can't, but very, 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 very hard. Imagine, sa tiyaw yun sila. Kami daw ni Dr. Ike, when you have that accident, one half na wala. Then, pagka-stroke na ko, another half na wala. So, barely I have 1/4.
And we'll come back to you later, Dr. Ike.
Yes, Doc.
Yes. Salamat kayo nga ni-join ka sa AMOA. You're a dentist by profession, hindi po ba?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you are practicing dentistry po.
Presently, not. Oo.
Before, when did you develop a disability?
Same as engineer, I had also my accident, vehicular accident
So
also.
vehicular accident yung sa'yo, vehicular accident yung kanya.
Yes.
Ano yun? You were driving or you were a passenger?
In my accident, my vehicle had defective brakes. It happened in Baguio City, 1984.
How young were you at that time?
Mabisto gid atong edad ani. Okay. going 24.
So very young.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the very prime of your
And-
life. If I noticed, Doc, kayong dalawa ni engineer, when both accidents happened, you were at the prime of your age.
Correct,
Kumbaga, heto yung time na happy-happy tayo talaga. Yes. So,
So I passed the board 1983 November. I had my accident February 84.
barely a year
Yes,
after passing
yes.
the boards.
Yeah.
And I am very sure you must, felt down and out.
Yes, I was thinking na so di na ko makasapatos. Di na ko makalaag. Okay, my paralysis is T4 down.
Okay.
Chest down.
Yes.
So I stayed in the hospital for almost 3 months and I was really depressed. Dugay-dugay akong depression. I will not mention how many months cause ang uban musulti dayon sa ilang ginikanan nga dugay bitaw na depress si ay kano pugson man ko ninyong di na ko ma-depress.
Yes.
So basta I had a very long depression.
So from the time nga na accident ka, you just passed the boards, you were an upcoming, very promising dentist. So after the accident, did you still practice what you finished?
I did 1991-92 in Bacolod. I was a volunteer dentist of the Negros Occidental Rehabilitation Center sa Lacson Street under the former mayor of Bacolod, Miss Joy Valdez.
Okay.
So I was a volunteer dentist there, but in my stint in Bacolod, I became also a leader of the Persons with Disability group, and being a dentist, I discovered na with my disability, I had limitations na. So I prefer to be a leader in the sector na lang. Dili na ko mag-dentista.
Ikaw naman engineer. Ang imuha, before the accident, you were active in your practice as an engineer. So after the accident, were you still working as an engineer or dili na sad?
Na after sa accident, I was still working kay naman ko. Official travel na itong pagkadisgrasya na ako. It happened in Cotabato City, Cotabato Province.
Nag-drive ka?
Passenger.
Passenger ka, okay.
Nahulog sa ravine. Then, ako ang casualty. Siya C4, ako T12 down
Okay.
now. So, it took me 5 years to accept that I am already disabled.
5 years.
5 years.
And yet, those 5 years of struggling to acceptance of your disability, you still continued working or nagmukmuk ka lang sa balay?
During that time, the government was very kind. They give me work sa balay. So I work sa balay.
So more of paperworks na lang dahil imong
I was a
trabaho?
design engineer then. Then I go, after 4 years, 4 years, I go to the field with my wheelchair. Going to far-flung areas of Region 10.
So nimbalik yun gihapon ka despite na kinala naka-wheelchair ka lang. Oo. Now, you know, that alone is so inspiring to us, knowing nimbalik mo sa mainstream. In other words, you did not keep yourselves to the confines of your homes and self-pitied and did nothing and be a burden to your families. What was it that made you realize na ang imong struggle is not just for yourself but for others too, Dr. Ike?
In 1986, yung EDSA revolution, so inspired man kita ng Filipinos that time. So even me, I told myself, kapoy naman sa depressed, oy. So I told my parents na I want to stay in a community with persons with disabilities to experience their life with them.
So gusto ni mo i-immerse ka?
Yes. So I went to Tahanang Walang Hagdanan in 1986. So I stayed there for 1 year. And came back in CDO.
Okay. Ang sa imuha naman na engineer?
Na-disgrasya ko sa Cotabato Province, 1986 din. After the EDSA revolution.
Okay.
Then, during that time, ang Cotabato walay rehab. In fact, I never, wadyo ko kaya siya rehab medicine. So, ipapili ko, asa ko pa doon, Davao, Manila, o Cagayan, kaya ko yung mga parinti. Then ko nagmukmuk. After 5 years, si Dr. Ike, naglitani sa mong balay for 4 hours.
So gatuan ka niya?
Muna ako na inigawas tayo ko, kaya maulaw lagi. Kini yung kapanaan niya.
Nga naman nga naulaw ka, engineer, at that time, before si Dr. Ike ni kuan sa imo?
Siguro, may disability, nga di na ako apil-apil sa mga kauban ako. Then, marag apil self-pity ba? Pero it was good. Hasi was there. Kaya Hasi di Oro na mo.
Kisa man day ang nagkuhan? Kisa man day ang nag-create aning Hasi? You were so active about this.
Yes. HASI is Handicaps Anchor is Christ Incorporated. This originated in Cebu. So, people from Cebu went here to organize us. And presently, kami na lang ga-exist sila, nawala na. So,
how many members do you have?
Basically, 250 but active, mga 80 lang siguro.
Kanang 250, Dr. Ike, diri lang na sa Northern Mindanao?
CDO and part of Miss Or ang uban.
And unsa man ang iyang composition ani? What I mean napo din ha ang deaf and blind, napo din ha ang kanang mga incapable of walking, apil na sila din ha.
Generally, ang HASI is composed of or physically persons with disability, pero naagyapon may mga deaf members.
Okay.
Oo.
So kay nga naman, I'm curious. I have in my hands here ang National Census, no, Statistics Office stated that there are registered 1,443 PWDs sa ilahang listing as of 1990. Yeah, I think that's the data 2010. I'm sorry, that's for 2010. And dili ko makatuo nga inguna na kadaghan ang atong membro.
Yeah, gamay ra na siya.
Oo.
Kay the coming census again, murag mas gwapo na silag form. Mas klaro-klaro na ang question kung naabay person with disability in your family. Kay when even katong unsay tawag anang ga adto sa balay para mag-census sa NSO, I was there and I was waiting for the question kung naay disabled sa inyong pamilya.
Wala.
Ako pa'y nag-remind sa enumerator. Asa tong question diha ga? So gakalimtan nila pagpangutana.
Okay, so dapat i-appeal na nila, di ba?
Murag appeal na sa kaming census pohon.
We'll take a very short break, and when we return, we will continue to discuss what are the rights and what are the opportunities that our friends, members of the family who have physical disabilities have in our society. Please stay tuned.
Presenting the all-new Hope Channel. Clearer,
Mga personalidad nga dunay kaikag sa pagbarog sa
kami nga magtiayo.
Kaya siya nga nagpamatuod na kung ikaw
brighter,
was confused because ginatanaw nato nga wala na tay kakampi. We are in
stronger,
for today is called
arresting the attention,
Bonus na kung maging positive and it makes you
deadly in earnest.
Right now, the campers are having their hiking.
Bringing Christ to Mindanao.
let's listen to what the nature will speak to us.
And bringing Mindanao to the world.
Dynamic Living the Total You would like to invite you
to feel the touch of His redeeming love.
And the world to come.
Akong right lobe, kumplito na siya.
Yes, Hope Channel Philippines will show you. There's hope in Jesus, and there's more to life. More practical tips. More up-to-date info. More certified resource persons. More timely themes. And more fun. This is Dynamic Living 2013.
Welcome back to Dynamic Living the Total You with our episode Rising Above Disabilities, Empowering PWD's Rights. I have now with me here in the studio, I am joined by two great men here. I have on my right our attorney, James Judith. Welcome to the show, attorney.
Doc, may gabi.
Please use your mic.
Doc, may gabi, Doc. Og may gabi po sa imo, Director. Og may gabi po katong duha nato ka guest kanina.
Yes, kasi we will be asking you certain legal issues about them, their rights, and what can be done to help protect them, no? And of course, hindi po pwedeng hindi natin imbitahin ang ating Assistant Regional Director sa DOLE para malaman natin kung meron bang mga job opportunities, ano ba ang pwedeng trabahuin ng ating mga friends na PWDs. I have here Mr. Crispin Danog Jr., our ARD. Good evening, sir. Welcome back to Dynamic Living.
Good evening, Doc. We thank you. We thank you for inviting us here. The Department of Labor and Employment is very happy that we'd be able to tell our people what the department has been doing to assist our PWDs.
Yes, mahalaga po yun. Para yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, they would know what, how, and where, di ba? So yun yung, we'll start off with, sa imuha, Attorney James, ano bang definition talaga natin ng PWD?
Base sa balaod, Doc, no, kung may kag PWD, ang pinakasumbanan magid-ani ang kining gitawag nato nga RA 7277. Nga, mo man ang gitawag nila nga Magna Carta para sa mga disabled persons. Pero sa ato mong nandan, pag moingon tag disabled, ang kasagara nga nasa atong hunahuna, physical nga disability.
Yes, that's true.
Pero kung imong tanawon gyud sa balaod, dili actually physical disability lang, nakikibutang dia mental and
Social, di ba? Emotional.
Emotional o psychological.
Psychological.
Pero gali lang kay murag ang nasa tunahuna mo gud na andan basta nagali disability para nila ni engineer
Engineer ni
Lolo
Doc,
og ni Doc Ike physical. Pero actually kung imo yung basihan sang sumbanan gyud ang Magna Carta, ang RA 7277, galanggob tanan nga maka sakit bali sa tao or pamaagi nga kining makalimit sa mobility. Mo man gud ang gingon. So kung mingon mo kag mo limit ang mobility, ang musantop na lang sa tununa physical. Pero actually ang gingon las balaod nga sigon nga nay limitation mobility basta ma-physical man, ma-mental, ma-social, psychological, gilangkuban gyapon sa RA 7277.
Kano sama na iyang Magna Carta ning gawas, attorney?
Mga kung wa ko na sayo mga 90s naman siguro ni siya, Doc, mga late 90s. Ang pinakauna actually naguna gyud ang katong wala pang Magna Carta, naguna gyud tong BP nga 344 katong accessibility law. Nya kadugayan dayon tungod siguro sa clamor bali sa mga people with disabilities, sama nila ni Engineer Lolong o nilang Dr. Ike. Kadugayan ang Kongreso nitubag bali sa mulo sa labi na sa ilang nga sektor mo tong namugna ang balaod nga RA 7277 ug katuda yung BP 344 katong accessibility law na-appeal na, supplement na dahil siya dito sa maobali nga balaod.
So under anang iyang Magna Carta, attorney, unahon ko si attorney ARD ha, kaunya taud-taud sa imo na kumudagan og pangutana. Unahon nato si attorney James, kanang Magna Carta which encompasses the rights, di ba, of our friends, our family members who have disabilities. Unsa man ang ginsakupan ani, up to what limit or extent ang ilahang mga rights nga gihatag ani nga balaod? Kay nganong nangutana ko nimo, lisod bang gud usahay maluoy ka baya labi na kanang mga kabataan pa nga binuangan bitaw o kaya no, they're made fun of, sometimes they're even discriminated, they're not given the full attention that they deserve or the opportunities even as young as they are. So kaning atong Magna Carta, naa ba ni siya mga protective so to speak, protection para ani nila?
Ngani kay ang balaod, nay gibutang dia ang katong dili mutuman sa provision sa RA 7277, pwede manubag sa balaod. Nagali ni siya ang multa, dili lang ingon nga kining kwarta, kundili pwede ka mabilanggo kung mahukman, mapamatud-an nga naa kay kasupakan sa provisions niini. O gawas niya na, Doc, dili lang ang katong musupak aning kining mga tao nga dili lugar katugyod ang biktima, ang people with disabilities. Mismo sila ni Doc Ike og ni Engineer Lolong, pwede sila manubag sa balaod kung abusuhan nila ang pribiliyo na nakabutang sa RA 7277. So patas ang balaod.
Patas ang balaod.
So dili lang ingon nga kita wa nato gituman unsay naada nga tumano nato para sa ila lugar nga katungod. Pwede po sila manubag kung ilang abusuhan ang pribiliyo nga naang nakatakda di sa mong balaod. Kay gibutang man dito nga kung sila ilang abusuhan ang pribiliyo
sa
balaod.
Sa tanaw nimo Attorney James, na hatag, the correct information has been given about this particular law to our friends na PWDs as well as to the community. Kaya usahay na ang balaod, maayo kaayo ang balaod, pero tungod kay wala siya na diseminar, the tendency is dili siya matuman.
Walay lali sa ila lugar nga sektor nila ni Doc Ike, kining nasayod sila ni anak kay sila mong gid mismo ang sektor nga nangusog nini. Ang problema lang sa ato ang kinabag-an, ang bagang duot sa katawhan kay wala kay tay hinanawan. Makita man nato na ay visible man ang mga signs para sa ila nga gihimo kay ubos man sa balaod, gimando sa balaod. Ang problema lang kay kita, ang bagang duot sa katawan wala ta nakasabot. Kung makita nato sa mga malls, di ba na ay may kanang para parkinganan sa ila usay masuko pa ta di ba ta ka parking ani nga na may kanaaon sa gamal wala ginana ba di nato masabtan na yung mga signs unya di ba mabantayan nimo kanang ang uban nagali nga mga establishmento na sila CR para gyud sa
Para sa ila
ila.
lang.
Pero ang kahitabo kung di ta pasudlon kay exclusive para sa ila, masuko
Masuko
ta. Oh, kapatay ka na masuko pa ka di man may makagamit ani. Dili sir kay para ra man ni sa ila PWD. Nausahay ang kaning mga nag-iya lugar or manager anang mga establishments mapukus na lang sila paggamit sa ato lugar nga mga kanang di lugar pareha sa ila. Pero ang sila na noon ang makaluluoy kay kasagara kung abrihan na din to para sa ato kay pagbigyan lagi ta kay kasukutan ano exclusive do sa ila sila na sad ang maalaot kay kung gamito na nila
Wala pa. Okay. Ato na to si ARD.
Kasunod.
Attorney James, ato na to si ARD. ARD, what is the role of the DOLE in terms of sa welfare sa atong mga persons with disabilities?
Yes.
This,
Early on, even in the labor code, we already have a provision to assist persons or differently abled persons. So under the Magna Carta, and Magna Carta means it's a very comprehensive, everything is there supposedly. So we look at the welfare and employment of persons with disabilities.
So
But we focus on their employment, that they are not discriminated against in employment.
yeah, I like
Okay.
that word that you used, ARD.
That's the word of the law.
Yeah, the word that you used na discriminated, no. Supposing nga naimuan ha sa inyo ha, asa man sila mo at kung pananlitan nga ni-apply sila aning particular job because they feel nga they're capable of doing it. And yet, medyo limited lang sila by their mobility. Ibutang na nato pareha nila ni engineer, no. Pero so can DOLE step in or should they, just leave it as it is, magkibit balikat na lang, hindi pwede sa akin yan talaga.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, our experience shows that kukunti lang naman discrimination. There are people that, that tends to look at this kind of disability as, that it tells us that we should be more caring. So wala namang problema dyan. That's why even the matter of yung accessibility, the department sees to it that this is complied with by the business establishments. Our government should comply because
Even ng mga malls, di ba,
even sa mga
Attorney
malls,
James,
so-
meron talagang merong specific areas na dinidesign even sa pagdaan ng wheelchairs para
Yes.
sa kanila, di po ba?
nasa checklist namin yan sa inspection.
Oo.
If it is not there, then we recommend to the owner na magkaroon ng ganun. Although even the DPWH should be looking into it, the Department of Health, the DSWD, we are all there to provide, form of relief, general welfare.
Sa inyong office po sa DOLE or ARD, do you have a statistics or data that will tell us nga sa Region 10, let's just talk about our region, Region 10, meron ba tayong mga listing of, say, pila ka buok or pila ka percentage sa atong mga PWDs are being employed gainfully?
Yeah, before I go into that, I'd like to inform you that we now have a new office at Monte Carlo building. We saw to it that the accessibility provision of the law is there.
Okay.
So when you go to, it's there immediately. You can see. So, but of course, it's very hard for them to go upstairs. But we saw to it that our front office, the Dole Provincial Field Office for Western Misamis Oriental and Cagayan de Oro, mayroong itong ramp so that yung wheelchair can go immediately. Well, as to this statistics, the department registers associations of PWDs. We don't have the full the statistics for how many. I think this is taken care of by the SWD. Okay. As to the checking out, even the census, that's being done by the Department of Health. Ganun yun.
So, you have, do you
but
have, yeah. Do
we
you
have an interagency committee to look at the welfare. So we have at the municipal level, but of course we cannot reach that level. Is the Department of Health or the proper committee at the Batasan, the Sangguniang. And then of course at the provincial level, we have interagency
Okay.
up to the regional
Yung
level.
sinasabi niyo pong interagency ARD, so that is comprehensive, kasama ang DPWH,
Yes.
kasama ang DSWD,
Correct,
kasama ang DOH. So paano po yung ano natin, like are there new programs or strategies that you have now in Dole that will further enhance the rights of the PWDs?
Well, early on when I was there, because I was also part of the committee, we inform ourselves about what's happening based on our expertise. So we inform the body on on the employment, and we ask that, as a matter of fact, we report on discrimination, if any. Okay, because at least 20% of the employees in a certain company and in government should be PWDs. They should not discriminate, especially if they meet the requirements.
Okay, puntahan ko si
selection.
Attorney James. Attorney James, in your actual practice, I think you're a private practicing lawyer. Have you encountered cases or instances wherein, you know, a PWD would approach you in your office and tell you na, Attorney, paano ba to? Mukhang hindi naman ako tinatanggap, na medyo qualified naman ako.
Frankly speaking daw ko, pag nahitabo,
Wala pa.
okay, sa akong obserbasyon, dudo ko inani, makaingon si director nga, walay discrimination. Naturally, walay discrimination kay wala pa man gid nato na implementar fully ang balaod, so wala pa gid nagsulay. Sukad lang sa akong practice lugar dinhi sa atong dakbayan, wala pa koy ni duol sa akong kliyente, si Doc Baka ni anhi sa ako daw nagreklamo og discrimination. So Engineer Luloy, wala sad noon, or establishmento baka nga nagsupak sa provision sa kining mao nga balaod. Siguro kay sama sa uban nato nga mga balaod, kulang siguro og pagtamod og pagsabot sa mao nga balaod. At di ko makaing kabalo ko in in fairness lugar pod kang direktor, batasan man nato mga Pinoy nga di man gid lugar ta mag-discriminate gani sa mga kababayenan, dili. Pero ang problema lang, ang discrimination dili kay nato makita gani. Walay problema sa uban nga aspeto. Sa ako lang nakita, Doc, siguro more sa unsaon nato pag-hire sa mga kanang PWDs, kay kung sumahon sa balaod na may gingon diha nga quota. Kung pareho sa Amerika pa kanang murag na sila gitawag nga kining murag equal rights nga amendment nga kinanlan na 5% nga quota didto sa gitawag nato sa DepEd, sa Social Welfare Office, o sa tanan nga mga buhatan gani sa mga local government kanang sa ilang mga social welfare offices, na quota gi-provide ang RA 7277 nga na sila 5%.
Kay ngano nangutana ko niya Attorney James o ARD, kay ngano manggod daghan manggod tag mga PWDs nga who are really qualified.
Yes.
And you know, they may be watching us now, and it would give them hope nga they can be part, you know, of serving the community, of serving the government, wherever they are, kung asa sila qualified
Yeah.
Yes.
Since you look after the provision on anti-discrimination, we practice it in the department. We accept PWDs. As a matter of fact, we find them to be one of the most productive employees, in my experience. And they usually leave the government to work in more higher paying jobs. But let me inform our televiewers that there are two forms of employment: wage, okay, and self-employment. So if they don't qualify for wage because they don't meet the minimum qualification under the law, then if they organize, okay, at least 10 people, okay, and they register with us, okay, and of course, I think even Dr.
Dr. Ike.
was involved in organizing. So it seems to me I met him early on. So when they are organized, they can come to us, or to the DSWD, or to the local government, or to the chief executive, to ask for assistance in meeting the capitalization of their projects. Well, in the department, we have invested also. We have given them
Help.
some funds.
Yes.
Funds to start their business. They start up for, let's say, sari-sari store,
Which is very
Yeah.
very laudable, no? So balikan ko naman si Attorney Ike. Attorney Ike, meron bang tinatawag nating obligation legally and morally ang mga communities natin towards our friends who are PWDs?
Legally na,
Okay.
wala ilalis. Morally na pod
Yes.
kay ang atong kultura gatanaw galantaw man nga dapat dili nato sila nga lainon pagtrato sa ila kumo kay dili lugar sila pareha sa ato gyud og kapas. I mean physically, mentally, socially or psychologically. So obligado ta ang kani manggod ang balaod sa ako nakita bunga na lang ni sa unsay atong nabatasan na nga dili taga discriminate sa ila. Ang kulang lang gyud dok sa ako nakita is ang employment opportunity sa ila. Wala ilali siguro sa balaod, sa kita ko man
It's only
uban
the
nga establishment
employment
to.
opportunities.
Ang nakita lang yun ako nga problema lang yun sa kinatibukan sa RA 7277 isang employment opportunities kay daghan pa kaya itong mga kaigsunan sa Manila ni Engineer Lulong og ni Dr. Ike nga problema kung asa gini mo sila ibutang
Yes, and we
appropriate
will
or
discuss
sakto
that
para sa
mamaya
ila.
pagbalik
Oh.
natin. Now, let me read muna one text message here from 0905-7915346. I am watching the show right now and it is inspiring. Thanks. So, thank you very much for watching too. We'll take a short break and when we return, we will further discuss our PWDs, their rights, as well as rising above their disabilities.
Meron talagang mga tao na sadyang ang tingin sa mga may kapansanan, kakaiba or walang karapatan or minsan kasi may mga tao na ang tingin sa amin, dapat nagbebeg lang, alam mo yon, may iba na, there are people who hates my guts. Alam mo yon na, parang ang tingin nila sa akin, hindi ako dapat nag-excel. May mga tao na, pero alam mo, sabi ko nga kanina, it's all part of the game. Ganun talaga eh. I cannot dwell on that. Of course, masakit, no? Pero I cannot just naman dwell on the pain that I'm feeling. Hindi naman pwedeng mainis ako sa mga taong naiinis sa akin. Ano na lang ang mangyayari, di ba? Sobrang, alam mo, ang sinasabi ko lang, we are as human as you are. Alam mo yun? So, siyempre, naiinis din kami. Siyempre, gano'n. Meron talaga mga taong gano'n eh. And isa pa, nakakatawa kasi siyempre malaki ako, di ba? Mataba ako. Uy, tabok siya ba? Uy, gano'n siya ba? Pero, gano'n talaga eh. Totoo naman, anong gagawin ko? Pero alam mo yun, so, I just do my thing and hope that, gano'n lang talaga yun. For all of you out there, hindi po kami abnormal, kami po ay tao lang din. Natatawa kami sa mga nakakatawang bagay, naiiyak kami sa mga nakakaiyak na bagay, nasasarapan kami sa masasarap na pagkain, natutuwa kami kapag pero pareho lang po tayo. Kayo, kami, tayong lahat, isa lang yan, pareho tayong lahat. So, I hope, let's make this world a better place to live in. Let's be kind to each other. Thank you.
It takes a global network to be in touch with planet Earth's global community. Hope Channel broadcasts the hope found in Jesus with 10 global channels through programs on healthy living, history, culture, music, and biblical spirituality. And Hope Channel provides a diverse cultural programming mix in many of the world's major languages. Welcome to donor-supported Hope Channel.
More practical tips. More up-to-date info. More certified resource persons. More timely themes. And more fun. This is Dynamic Living 2013.
Welcome back to Dynamic Living, the Total You, with our episode Rising Above Disabilities, Empowering PWD's Rights. And nandito po kasama ko ngayon ang aking 4 na mga gwapitong mga Batikanong mga guests. And I'd like to welcome them back to the show. Si Dr. Ike, si Engineer Loloy. Loloy, di ba? Engineer Loloy, ARD Danog, and Attorney James. No? So let's now go into this job opportunities na sinasabi kanina. Before we took the break, na banggit ni Attorney James na ang balaod na walay problema, encompassing siya. Kaya balo ang mga PWDs nato, ana. Ang problema nato is ang job opportunities nga gigahin nato para sa ilaha. Yes, could you expound on that, Attorney James? And maybe si ARD can, si ARD daw muna. Nagpasahan na silang dalawa.
May look at the law, at the provision of the law, para, so this will,
kasi para malipay po sila si Dr. Ike o si Engineer Loloy, naman din mga job opportunities. Maybe not for them, but for the people na they are serving with, di ba? Yes.
Sige. Let me read Chapter 1 on employment that's entitled to Rights and Privileges of Disabled Persons. We should not miss this. Section 5. Equal opportunity for employment. That's very clear. They should not be discriminated against. That's the meaning. No disabled person shall be denied access to opportunities for suitable employment. A qualified disabled employee shall be subject to the same terms and conditions of employment and the same compensation, privileges, benefits, fringe benefits,
So, freeze muna tayo, ARD.
or allowances as a
ARD.
qualified able-bodied person. I'll stop for the provisionally para makita natin. 5% of all casual, emergency, and contractual positions in the DSWD, health, education, sport, culture and sports.
5% yun.
Hindi pala 20. And other government agencies, officers, or corporations engaged in social development shall be reserved for disabled persons. Yun ang reserve.
Kaya ako nagsabing freeze kasi gusto ko yung sumpayan na ako itong imong giingon din nga provision sa balaod nga equal ang ilang benefits, equal ang ilang compensation. In other words, kinahanglan walay kaltason didto tungod lang kay may utang nga medyo hinay ang pagbaklay padulong didto. Maybe si Dr. Ike and si Engineer Loloy would like to ask ARD unsa man yung mga job opportunities nga available para sa ilaha.
Yes, so actually Doc, naka-receive na mga funding from Department of Labor. So sa una, twice mi naka-receive og funding sa ila among organization. Sa una, murag individual livelihood, mga sari-sari store, mga ana. So ang pinaka bag-o lugar para sa ironworks namo nga naa sa Puntod, which karon gi temporarily close namo kay wala man say mga orders god. Pasig magsweldo mi, magtrabaho sila, wala man po yung orders.
Is this appropriately advertised? Do you also get to market
we admit
this?
Ang marketing ay kulang. Ang marketing and competition around pod. So naagi na siya nga project na stop lang. Dayon kani pong atong job opportunities, ang qualifications sa tamag mapildi ang person with disability, di ba? Permi na appeal ang pleasing personality.
Sige, agtuan nato si Attorney James.
Muna kong gingon lagi ito. Wala may problema sa balon. Ay gingon dia. I-point out ni Director nga na equal opportunities. Then naadan ang 5%. Ang pagkunta na karon direct, no, kanang di lang ang tanin mo na ilang pagsabutis. Unsa ba itong prueba nga? Natuman ba ang 5%? Naabatay listahan? Naabay monitoring nga? Natuman ba na? Katong giingon nga na ay ilang livelihood man to, ang ako magkaroon na ingon kasi si Doc, ang konsya nga, di nita matanggong sa kining employment opportunities kay ang qualification na pod. So, muna akong pasabot, kulang ta diha sa oportunidad, wala, dili nato sila magahinan kay naaman lugar na, ato lugar sila, di man lugar nato i-discriminate. Ang problema kay wala may.
Yes.
Not from the point of view of a lawyer, but from the point of view of a technical person, no? Kasi ganito, government will not renege on the requirement. So it's 5%, they accept. We accept even in the Department of Labor and Employment. But in the private sector, where the jobs are,
that's a problem.
There could be a problem there because as you said, these are the minimum basic requirements for a certain job. They should have completed a 4-year course, at least, and they should have passed the examination. But again, there is a non-discrimination provision on examination that may be inferred as taking them out of competition. Pero yun eh. So, equal talaga lahat yan, I think. Let us not think na para bang we have discriminated against them. Sa totoo lang, we have not as a people. Culturally, we have not discriminated against them. This is my experience because I'm from Luzon. I've been to the 3 Visayan regions, and I'm now here. Okay, wala talaga masyado.
Siguro, Attorney James, it's more of trying to educate.
Yes.
More of educating especially the private sector and making them understand na dapat kaakbay natin itong ating mga persons with disabilities, di ba? I think yan yung kulang eh.
Sakto itong gingon ni Direk Gania, Doc, no, nga kaning dili man sa atong kultura, di man nato batasan nga mag-discriminate. Wala man tayo.
Lantaran.
Wala lantaran.
Lantaran, pero may patago.
Problema ka natay patago. Dili lang nato gangkunon kay isa na daan. Okay. Naalagi na nga provision section 5 sa RA 7277 na nan karon di lang nato ingon sa paginamog pero nakita na ako sa Amerika mismo ang ilang gobyerno na sila kanang gitawag nila kanang bitong summer job para sa mga people with disabilities dito ga intern sa kongreso nila ngano wala makukitaan na dinhi sa ato so kung mismo ang nanguna ang gobyerno kay ilang gipagula ng RA 7277 naapay ko nakita nga summer job para sa mga PWDs naapay sila sa kongreso naapay sila sa senado naapay sila sa kabineta.
Okay, sige. Sige. Yes, ARD.
We have this special program for the employment of students when they're in school.
Okay.
At least 15 years old down to 25. And we want to keep them in school. I think I'm talking to the department, the department again has really fulfilled the requirements because we are here prominently. So we fulfill the requirement even in the summer jobs. But of course, we have no control. Okay, it's prescriptive, of course, but we don't have control over
Monitoring
that.
Siguro.
Yeah, we monitor. Okay, most of the employers are LGUs. We want the companies, of course, to have more students, to allow more students to work at least for 30 days. But and then we have the public employment service offices. That's where the PWDs should go to the public employment service offices in the LGUs.
Okay.
It's created by the LGUs under another law.
Sige,
And we are monitoring this.
Yes,
Okay?
puntahan ko muna ARD si Engineer Loloy. Yes. Ikaw, you mentioned kanina during the first segment na you were very fortunate nga you were employed in the government. And despite what happened to you, you were still given the chance to continue on with your work, no? So ang ako pangutanan nimo, engineer, would you be able to say na if given the chance to be able to encourage your colleagues nga mga PWDs, unsa man ka ang imuhang isulti sa ilaha para ma-encourage sila?
Sige, Doc. Salamat kay Doc, Attorney, Director. So, although we are fighting for equality, but tungod lagi kay sumala sa inyo ni attorney, naman ko na qualification basic dito sa mo feel. So may na pud mi og munang dilemma kay na mo Doc. May na sad mi privileges. No, we are fighting for equality, so dapat equal footage. Kung ang requirement is this, kami nga PWD dapat mo appeal sa basic requirement para makasulod. Ano ta mo question sa gobyerno, qualified ta nya dita kwaon. Pero kung dita qualified, ato yung mo sa nga qualifies na to kung kaugalingon. For example, itong gingon ni director nga 4-year course, there are jobs nga 4-year course, 2-year. So ang akong gingon sa mga kauban namo ni ay equip na to atong kaugalingon, ay ta mo compete. Kay lisod man kay mo compete niya dita qualified niya, may mahayan din natong gobyerno. I'm not talking for the government, but I'm just talking the reality in sa situation na mo ba. Gusto kayo may makatrabaho, pero di lang qualified.
And sa imo kang pagsulti nga, gusto niyo mo trabaho, dili lang mo qualified, nga dapat qualified mo. Unsay dapat himuon ninyo sa inyong mga kaubanan para mo qualify sila?
So inani, pananglitan gusto nyo ka mong trabaho, ang gobyerno ga-provide og daghang nga programa na itisda, na iduli, na DepEd. Daghan kayong mga oportunidad programa ang gobyerno. Kami mismo dili pa mi kabawtanan. Pero na yun ang himo sa mga advocacy na lang jud. Pero ang mga prinsipyo ni Dr. Ike is never fight the government, persuade. I-persuade na mo. Okay,
So
20,
never fight but persuade.
20 years ago, Doc, sa Tinoray lang, siguro mga handful rami magsuri-suri ng mga bakol diya sa Cagayan de Oro. After 20 years, lipay na kayo nakidaghan na kayo ng gawas.
So kaniya tumurag maulaw pa. Karon
Maulaw.
dili na sila maulaw. Yes, Dr. Ike.
Yes. Kung opportunities lang, kami mismo, ga-initiate nami. We just created our own co-op and it's located in San Simon. So, Ironworks gihapon, Director. So, ato is patronage na lang nga dito sila magpahimo, and we are now involved in the DepEd school chairs and tables. So, gahinay-hinay may kay at least co-op na gina siya. So, we create livelihood for ourselves na lang kung dili sila gusto sa amo. And in San Simon also, they are doing homes for persons with disabilities pagyod nga sendong victims also. So, naami diha, murag half hectare na gipalit sa isa ka foundation in Manila nga hinahinayan po na magbayad.
Yes, Attorney James, you heard them saying they don't want to fight but they will persuade. And then kay wala man na, ilan na lang gihimo. Oh yeah.
Ganito, di ba? Yung Dr. Ike nga, sila na lang, gagalingon na sila, nagkayod silang mga bakol. So, mo lagi kay, di mo sila pwede makasulod bali sa private sector o sa gobyerno, kulang ang opportunities.
So kita unsa may atong dapat himuon, Attorney James, para lang matabangan nato sila. We're now talking about us as community members, our civic social responsibility towards our friends who are persons with disabilities.
Siguro ang consistency siguro sa pag-impulsar sa balaod. Di magkadingon kay katong ganiya sa imong pangutanan to, wala pa may sukad sa akong pag-practice sa balaod nga nagduol sa akong nagreklamo nga ato ni kasuhan tani kay nagsupak sa RA 7277. O nga mismo inani ni sa Doc akong kakakita kining ang mismo ang gobyerno ang sa kanimong sa akong nakita ang gobyerno gid mo take the lead. Okay. Tuod naa sa balaod nga ang mga private sector gituman nila pero more on aesthetic man guni kining naay ramp ana ang pangutana karon unsa na to nga masiguro nga ilang katumano ng balaod kay para karon di man nato sila mapugos mingon sila nga among di man mi discriminate tanawa among mga designs pero ang pangutana karon nag-provide ba gid sila employment opportunities nagnaa ba gid
mo man na siya ang kinahanglan nila di ba mo man na inyong kinahanglan dili man ang mga ramps para mo tumugmos
dili man ramps or katong parkinganan
or
siya.
Sige po.
Because you cannot go up if you don't have the ramp, and you cannot work upstairs if you don't have the ramp. It's not aesthetic. I'd like to object to the word aesthetics. We are not here in the business of patronage with a particular class. Okay, we are here to implement the law.
Okay.
Without the ramp, how can we allow Doc Ike or si engineer to go up the ramp to facilitate? That's not aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, napakabilis po ng oras ko dito sa Dynamic Living the Total You. Tapos ng aking isang oras, siguro pwede pang haba-habaan natin sa susunod. We'll have a part 2 of this later, no? Kasi medyo napakaganda po naming discussion. At sabi ng 0917-627-8936, we are watching the show now and we learned a lot about PWD's rights. Thank you for the show, no? So, heto ngayon ang ating panawagan sa ating mga tagapagpanood, the community. What would you like to tell them or to encourage them who are viewing us now? Like sa imo ha, Dr. Ike, what would you like to tell them?
Where's my... Okay. So, daghan na kaayong mga persons with disabilities na train sa TESDA, naapay mga housekeeping ang nahuman, kanang food and beverage. So, pero maihap pagyud ang mahatagag job opportunity. Ang ato lang is try lang, kaya manamo, testingya lang mi. We don't want pity. Ang amo is i-patronize me, itabangan, testingan. No? So we can prove ourselves. Kana lang gid siguro.
Yes, engineer?
Sorry. Actually, katong inyo ni Doc nga, do not pity us. Sa Decade of Disabled karon sa international, ang giingon is, dunay paradigm shift. Sa una, magkakita kag disabled, ingon kag tagay 2 pesos, tagay piso. Karon baliktad na. Kung makakita kag person with disability, engineer ka, ingon din kag, unsa may kumahimo ning tawana para makaagi siya ning stage, inani. Oh, provide kay physical mag attitudinal, ang attitudinal may lisod jud kayo. Yun, ang ako is, sa ako mga kauban diri nga mga PWDs, let's go out. Let's advocate. Kaya kung makita sa gobyerno nga daghanta, mo active po na sila, pero makita nila nga kami lang Dr. Ike, labi na sa kay Banaan, gamay ra kaya mo gawas, ano mo provide man taning facilities nga limara man sila kabuok. So go out. Let's go out, ipakita na to nga we are helping ourselves so that government will help us. And lastly, I would say, nothing about us without us.
Okay. What
Thank
about
you.
ARD?
Salamat
Sa
na.
imong parting shot to our viewers?
We'd like to assure our persons with disabilities that government is always there. That's the purpose why government is there, to help the less, the disadvantaged groups in society. Of course, government would mean not only us in the department, but the whole instrumentalities, including the barangay captains, the local government units, where they are, then that's where the assistance should start,
Okay.
right, of the barangay.
Okay.
So, and we will follow. That's why there are a lot of organizing now. I think, baka na-organize na lahat, Dr. Ike.
Okay, what
Okay,
about
thank
Attorney
you very much.
James?
Inani lang, Doc, no? Naaman ang balaod, mao man ang inisyatibo sa gobyerno, pero di ta maglampos niini kung dili kaabag sa gobyerno ang private sector.
Okay.
So maguban gid ang duha kay maayo man to ang tumong, pero kung di gyapon abagan sa private sector, wala lang gyapon katumanan ang maubali nga maayo nga balaod.
Everything should start within us, whether you're a PWD, you're a community member, you're in the government or in the private sector. Let us empower our friends who are persons with disabilities, empowering them, giving them the opportunities, supporting them, and helping them out. It is said, even in the Bible, that if we are to help the least of these people, we are actually doing this to our own Maker. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.